Multiverse Saga is the subject of the most recent series in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I wasn't necessarily in favor of an Ironheart series, even though I enjoyed what I saw of Riri in 2022's Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. However, after seeing the first few episodes of the series, I am convinced that Marvel has a compelling plot that demonstrates Riri's potential for excitement. The upcoming years could see a lot of Tony Stark influences because Robert Downey Jr. is back in the MCU, albeit as Dr. Doom rather than Iron Man. Even though the actor doesn't appear in the show, Iron Man is present throughout, at least in the first 3 episodes that have been made public. Although Riri and Stark are not as closely related as they are in the comics, their work does. She is very similar to him, and I think Ironheart is a perfect fit for the role of Iron Man in the MCU. The first episode of Ironheart may not be the finest of the series, but it is a good starting point that gives viewers a better understanding of Riri Williams' universe. I like how many parallels and ties to the wider MCU there are right away, and it's clear that Riri is determined to continue Mr. Stark's legacy and revolutionize safety. The tension that permeates the first 3 episodes as to whether or not she is effective in upholding Iron Man's heritage is something I adore. We learn more about Riri's terrible backstory and her supporting cast after she returns home to Chicago after being expelled from MIT. Her relationship to Parker Robbins, also known as the Hood, the antagonist played by Anthony Ramos, is the central theme. Even though he traps Riri in an elevator in what seems like a scene from Saw, the character does not come across as particularly evil in his first appearance. Because of his charm, Parker persuades her to work for him in return for money for her outfits, which will undoubtedly backfire. While I adore some of the characters that function in the black and white world of superheroes, I also find morally complex people to be incredibly fascinating. Before Riri Williams can discover her way to hero status, she will have to enter the criminal underworld. Although it is an intriguing tale idea, it is honestly not what I would have anticipated for Iron Man's MCU replacement. The Ironheart suit's computer-generated imagery is amazing in the first 3 episodes, but the show is completely altered by the final reveal of AI Natalie, a reimagining of Riri's deceased sister. It was a joy to see Alden Ehrenreich make his MCU debut because I've been a fan for a long time. The actor portrays Joe McGillicuddy in Ironheart Episode 2, an apparently ordinary Joe, pun intended, who conceals a brilliant mind. Despite the fact that their relationship began because she blackmailed him for parts to reassemble her Ironheart armor, I adored the amount of chemistry Joe and Riri showed in this episode and how quickly they became friends. Joe wants to aid people using technology rather than weapons, even if he has connections to the illegal market. I appreciate how the character gives Riri a pleasant counterweight. Joe points out how harmful technology can be and how certain things are simply not right, while Ironheart is doing whatever it takes to obtain the money she needs to build the best suit of armor she can, even working dirty jobs with the Hood. In addition to their relationship, Episode 2 demonstrates the excitement of Natalie's enlarged position as the AI gradually gets to know Riri and discovers more about the actual Natalie. The series really begins to revolve around their friendship. The highlight of the first half of the season is Ironheart Episode 3. Joe's hidden identity being revealed is one of the episode's key moments. When he mentioned his father and how he felt a connection to him when he was using technology in Episode 2, I already had my suspicions. When it was revealed that Ehrenreich's character is actually Ezekiel, Zeke, Stane, son of Obadiah Stane, the first villain in the MCU, who faced Tony Stark in 2008's Iron Man, rather than Joe, their suspicions were validated. Zeke is even more intriguing because, in spite of his father's past, he is nothing like him. The largest theft the Hood's crew has ever carried out is featured in Episode 3. Since she could always die like Stewart/Rampage and Ramos' persona had given her many reasons to be afraid of him, I thought Riri was justified in trying to get a piece of the Hood to comprehend Parker's abilities. She need to have exercised more caution, though. Joe made it very evident to her that he would not be held accountable if he assisted her. Since Riri left his biomesh behind, Joe's life may soon take a turn for the worse. And I fear what that might entail. The most disturbing part of the episode, however, is when Riri allows John, the Hood's cousin, to suffocate to death at Heirloom without telling Parker that she betrayed them. It's a big decision and not something a hero would normally do. The Hood's lord, whatever he is, shows him the shadow of Ironheart's suit in relation to John's death, so it's likely to backfire. Things are about to become hot. In Wakanda Forever, she was a part of a huge loss and a huge tragedy, Thorne says. At the same time, she also had the opportunity to observe what it looks like for Shuri, Letitia Wright, who is unquestionably a hero and who, as we saw, had to decide whether to follow in her brother's footsteps and truly lead the country or succumb to her need for vengeance. The raid on Heirloom's floating farm is much more thrilling than the TNL robbery from the previous episode, whether it's because of this requirement or the fact that the scene is given a full 20 minutes to unfold. The show takes a logical and clear approach, giving each subgroup of colleagues their own distinct objectives and problems. Requirement or the fact that the scene is given a full 20 minutes to unfold. The show takes a logical and clear approach, giving each subgroup of colleagues their own distinct objectives and problems. Gales and Jacqueline J. Gales. It set out like a decent heist miss thanks to a smart and compelling storyline written by Francesca on from a video game like Spider-Man or Arkham Asylum, so they don't just walk into a control room and start kicking ass. You feel as though they have earned every advancement they make.